And welcome back to the show. It's the It's Always Something podcast where we talk about movies and
other things
and have a little fun while we're at it. We all know Josh. He talks about movies and stuff.
I talk about movies. I look up things.
Yep.
I know things.
He's always got a computer in his hand, whether he's in the bathroom, the shower, does not matter.
Yeah. Put a plastic bag over it and walk in the shower and
If you need data,
wow,
he's there for it, amongst other things. Pictures, compromising photos of people where they shouldn't be. He's got them. He's got you under wraps.
Maybe, you never know.
We got, what's your name again?
Oh, it's Caleb.
Caleb, oh, okay. Because I remember in school everyone called you Caleb, so.
Caleb, Viper,
Caleb Tree,
Sea Bass,
Caleb.
What do you do with the show?
I don't even know which one's accurate anymore.
What do you do here?
What do I do?
What would you say you do here?
Yeah, I look for awkward silences and then I start laughing. Or I make a dumb joke.
That's good. Every show needs that. And I'm Dan. I'm the guy that just I just ramble on and on until someone says stop or interrupts me, when I start going in a weird place. And they're like, well, let's get back to the movie.
Dan, we got to reel it back.
Reel it back. Reel it in. Cut that. All right. And also, I've noticed in the last couple episodes, I like to call out my own mistakes. And I don't know what's happened in the last couple of episodes, but man, my legs were tapping. Like, woo! I had some sugar going on.
Yeah, you think you had a Red Bull or something. I
don't
know what happened.
But I'm going to try to chill on that today.
That is just random. I mean, because I could see it being like a nervous thing that you would do when you first
I'm not even nervous. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like something you just started
So I have
doing.
like restless leg syndrome kind of thing where I just start like, I'll just not even think about it. I'm just like, and then like it's just the weirdest thing. I don't know. I didn't even notice they're tapping.
I think he's back on jolts from high school.
Oh, I'm back on the jolt. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's booty
sweat.
Booty
sweat. Yeah.
Maybe you're drinking booty sweat.
I don't know. I saw you were eating a candy bar. Was that a busted nut bar?
Busted nut.
So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we just watched Tropic Thunder. I've already seen it a bunch of times.
Not for the first time, but
yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. Caleb's seen it a few times. Yeah. Josh, however, it was his first time ever.
This guy's shaking his jaw like the flipping Jack Black.
I've seen it.
Jack Black's character did that in one scene, I think.
No, a couple scenes.
He's like drugged up the whole movie, so he's like
going through withdrawals,
and doing all kinds of wacky stuff.
Yeah.
So Tropic Thunder was a comedy written and directed by Ben Stiller, and someone else helped him write it.
Justin Theroux, and Ethan Cohen.
Yeah, and it had a ton of stars in it, just a ton. Including Robert Downey Jr., but literally right before he exploded back onto the scene. Because obviously he's very popular in the 80s and early 90s. And then he had this kind of downfall, where he just wasn't very popular. He had a drug problem. And from there, he's just kind of not big, he just kind of lost it. And that came out right before... was it before or right after Iron Man? Which obviously now he's...
Yeah, that skyrocketed him.
I don't know. I think it seemed like it was before.
Before. It must have been before.
Yeah, I feel like it was before.
But yeah, there's tons of cameos in it too. Like, I wouldn't call it really a cameo, but Tom Cruise is in it.
He's in it quite a bit.
Yeah, he's. I wouldn't call him a central character, but he's definitely a side character, a popular a character that has a lot of lines. There's so much to get into. Like, this movie has so much going on. But it's a...
Who'd you say has a lot of lines?
Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. It sounded like you said Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks!
Iron Man was 2008 also.
Oh, okay. So I wonder if they came out, one came out and then the other, and it was a right. Anyways.
That's a good move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two totally different movies. See which one takes.
Right? Yeah. Hey, one's a comedy, one's action.
And it works.
And you never know with the comic book movie, especially back then. And there's a lot of big hits and a lot of big misses. And it's funny because he had a really bad drug problem in the 80s and 90s. That was his downfall. And I remember hearing the story about when he got off drugs. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Did you ever hear the story about it? Like he's been in an interview about it before.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So apparently he went on like a bender and up all night. And then in the morning, he went into a Burger King drive-thru, and he got a bunch of crappy burgers. And he said he was just chomping down on them in the as he pulled out of the drive-thru, and he said he just stopped and he looked at the burger and he was so disgusted by it. It was like an icon or
a symbol,
a symbol of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw how disgusting it was. And he said, I'm done with drugs. And he literally just tossed the burger and went and got sober. And I don't know if he had, I'm sure people always have relapses all the time, but he said after that he was stone cold sober and he just, went through.
That was probably just
that's
a defining
that's
moment.
crazy.
It's crazy. That took Burger King.
That is pretty wild. He said it was a Burger King or just a fast food place?
Burger King.
Oh.
Sorry.
I like the Impossible burgers, if it means anything.
I like their onion rings. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
They have the best onion rings.
I haven't been to Burger King, man.
Oh, no one has.
I mean, probably 10
I went
years.
last week.
It's kind
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they have Impossible burgers.
Wow. They still do, huh?
Yeah.
I remember they threw that in there when they first came out.
I know. I kept thinking they were going to take it off the menu.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Apparently not.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
I thought they were like one of those Long John Silver situations.
They just somehow stay in business.
Yeah, nobody knows how they stay in business. Anyway.
But
I mean, he came back to Robert Downey Jr. came back, and his first thing you said, he did
Iron Man,
and Tropic Thunder, but he also took a big risk in Tropic Thunder.
Huge, yeah. Well, the thing about Tropic Thunder was Ben Stiller was super hot at the time, super hot. He couldn't do any wrong. He's in a bunch of movies, and I mean, look how many stars were in it.
Oh yeah,
so Jack Black was also.
It was a guarantee that it was going to get
something was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
so.
It is pretty weird, as slapsticky and goofy as the movie is, that so many big actors were in it.
Yeah, a bunch.
Matthey McConaughey's in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
His role is pretty much.
I think once you get certain people in it,
it's got to be good.
Yeah, you go to ask other people. We already have these people secured. They're like, he's doing it. All right, I'll do it.
For sure.
It's just kind of like worst case is we have a good time, and it's people watch it just because these people are in it.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, Tropic Thunder.
What happened? I'm just kidding.
What is Tropic Thunder even about?
So Tropic Thunder is about a group of actors that set out to make a movie about a book, about what happened in war, a war book.
What war?
Was it Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam. And so during the movie, the director's having a hard time getting all these actors to play nice because they're all bougie. They're all,
Because just like the movie Tropic Thunder, in this fake world, all these actors are extremely popular actors. Like they're very they're like the Tom Cruises of their world. Yeah, they're all fake yet, not in real life, but they're all star power. Like everyone's a huge star except for one person who's just like straight out of theater
Sandusky.
school. Sandusky.
Yeah.
So the director gets chewed out by the guy, the producer, the guy putting out the money.
Les Grossman.
With just Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. So his idea to get them all into character and get the movie done, the director's idea, and
Sergeant Fourleaf.
Who's a phoney.
Yeah.
Hey, you're ruining the movie.
The guy who wrote the book, who is the movie is based on, came up with this idea, let's just drop them out in the jungle and kind of set up cameras and just let them go at it. We'll get the movie done. And so they do that, but the director gets blown up immediately.
And no one gets to go home till we get the shots. Now, let's go and make the greatest war movie ever!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! Right. Yeah!
Oh.
And so they all think that they're in a movie for a while. At least I guess Ben Stiller thinks they're in a movie. The rest of the guys kind of have a hunch that this is probably real life.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
He knows they have all been told that they're going to be taken out to this, and they're going to have to rough it to really get into the
because they're flown out on a helicopter in the middle of nowhere.
They're not going to be living this bougie life anymore, and now they're going to try to get more into character and have to rough it. So yeah, he's thinking, okay, no, they're really forcing us into this, and that's why he didn't really die.
Yeah, only one person thought he really died.
And anytime he sees like a camera, like a security camera, he thinks it's part of the filming. He's like, oh, I gotta be, he's like,
so all of a sudden gets back in character.
My My leader is not quite as cordial. And here's a little message from my uncle, Sam.
Whoa! Dude, you alright? Good. Come on. All right, good. You want to keep going?
Punch you off!
Good, let's go.
Get up!
I'd rather ride in your VC's jail!
I've never been to your will!
You scum!
Get up!
You scum! Good.
Get up!
Hey, now let's take this and go to the beginning again. Let's do the tea part, okay?
Get up!
So Ben
so
Ben
funny.
Stiller gets separated from the rest of the group because they go different ways because they don't agree on stuff, and Ben Stiller ends up in a prison camp, and
a drug camp. Yeah.
yeah, and so the rest of the guys are trying to get back home, or get back to the filming studio where they're filming, but they end up coming across the camp and they see Ben Stiller down there getting tortured. So they decide.
Cut!
Well, they split up because everybody thought this is not, it's over,
Yeah.
This isn't really, part of the filming.
Yeah.
And then but he was, Ben Stiller was the only one who thought that it was still a thing. That's the only reason they really split
Yeah.
up.
Right.
So.
Everyone finally realized that it was
Real.
real. It was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
They got to get out of there. One guy's going through drug withdrawals, and then
Yeah, they each have their own
Ben Stiller
problem.
he sees he's kidnapped, I guess, by the drug den. He's being tortured, but he thinks the torture is all part of the thing.
Yeah.
God!
And so they try to save him, and that's basically the synopsis of the movie.
Yep.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
it's so you
And
said
for some reason, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, he stays in character the entire movie, and
Yeah.
stays in character with the character that he's playing in the movie.
until the credits.
Yeah, until he gets called out.
Until the
Well-
commentary. He stays.
Well, that's what he
he's
says.
but he does break it in later on in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's so. But
He does break it.
the funny thing is, if you actually listen to the commentary, he goes back into his character.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I read online too.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was
And
funny
so
how
you
he
said
did
he
that.
took a big risk, and I just realized why. Because
Yeah.
yes, this was like a breakthrough movie for him, and then, like a long time out. But he plays a black character.
Yeah.
In the movie, he plays a 6-time Oscar-winning actor, white, Irish. Is he Irish?
Australian.
Australian.
He's an Australian. That's right. Because I make fun of him. He's like a 6-time Oscar-winning Australian actor who's obviously white with very bright blue eyes, very very much like yours.
Okay. Moving on.
Anyways, and but for this role, he's casted as a black character.
His
And
movie name is fun, or his actor name in the movie is funny too. Lazarus, right?
Yeah,
Kirk
that's his
Lazarus.
real. Yeah, Kirk Lazarus is his real
It's so funny.
actor name.
You have the real name, then you have a fake name for
Yeah,
the
that's
movie, then
true.
you have another fake name for the movie in the movie.
Right.
It's like
I'm
you
the
have
dude
three
played
names.
disguised as another dude.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly right.
But yeah, he goes through like a skin pigmentation darkening, like a procedure, so he stays
Yeah.
black for the whole movie. And so obviously, this being the world that we live in today, people dig up crap from 20 years ago, and they have to say and talk about how bad it is. So that's the whole thing.
When was this filmed again?
2008.
Yeah, so it's almost
Okay.
20 years.
Say originally Robert Downey Jr. didn't want to do the role because he thought it was very distasteful for him to
Right.
play a black
That's
character.
it's a risky thing
Right.
to,
Yeah.
to
But he
take
said
on. Yeah,
his
absolutely.
friends said no, you should do it. His black friends.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Those
still,
no,
it's
everyone's
no
so
matter who
I
tells
was-
you yes or no, you're still the one
Yeah.
to make that decision. Like,
I
do
was-
you do it? Is it worth my career? Like, no,
yeah.
not worth your career, but I mean, is it going to benefit your career or is it going to hurt your career? That's what
Right.
you have to think long term.
I remember even back then seeing that he was doing that character, being shocked that any white actor was going to play a black character in a movie,
Right.
regardless if it's comedy or not. I mean, just even 2008, I was just like,
Oh yeah, no. Who I don't know whose
man.
idea that was originally, but that was a risky thing to do.
yeah, but at the same
Period.
time, it's hilarious because they're not making fun of black people. He's not doing blackface.
he's
Like
not.
he's not being like
Right.
an obscene character, I guess. Like how in like the 40s and 50s they had
Yeah.
uh
No, it's
caricaturize, I believe it is, where they do blackface,
Right.
all that makeup and crap. And that was not his role at all. Like he he acted like a very stuck-up actor that thought he could play any role.
Which is the whole point.
Which is the whole point, is to show how
Yeah.
pompous all these actors are.
Yeah.
To show how big assholes they are. And he thought he could just do it, no problem. And so the character he plays is just like a pompous ass that thinks he could do it. He's, obviously he should have gone to someone else, clearly.
Yeah.
But that's the whole funny point of it, is
Right.
he did it because he thought he's such a badass at doing it. And he actually played it like I like what he did, because he wasn't like, what's the word? Like, he just
I know what
didn't
you
try to
mean.
cheese
It wasn't over the top.
It wasn't
yeah.
over the top. He literally tried to play it to that actor, the fake actor's best ability, who he's a 6-time Academy Award winning actor.
Yeah.
So he tried to do the
Yeah.
part the best he could. There wasn't any, like, of course they had little, like, it's a comedy, they're going to do funny things, and like he's quoting the Jeffersons and stuff like that.
I was gonna say there's that one part where he kind of tries to act extra black,
Right.
and gets
Right, he
called
does
out.
that.
But he gets called out on
Al
it.
Pacino.
Immediately, by Al
yeah.
Pacino.
And which is, it's good that guy's there. He's kind of like,
Yeah.
you're over,
Right.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
So
That makes it funny.
Exactly. So it just, he's trying to overdo it, and he gets
Yeah.
called out immediately. So the whole thing, like, just trying to give him crap about it, especially all these years later, it's just dumb, because the whole
Right.
idea of it was he's making fun of actors that do that. That's the whole point. If you don't
Right.
get that, you're just looking to nitpick at some bullshit, and that's all it is.
Bottom line is, Robert Downey Jr., I think he was, in the whole movie, he was one of the better roles.
Absolutely.
I think he played a great character. And I think Tom Cruise as Les Grossman was amazing.
Yep.
He maybe surprised me the most out of everybody, because he played a character unlike anything I think he's ever done before. It's
Yeah.
just such
Just a vile
goofy role.
a-hole.
Like, I'm so shocked, for one, that he ever even took that on, because it's just such a weird role for him.
It's actually his idea to do it too.
Well, I'm not surprised.
He
It's just-
said, because
Well,
Ben
I'm
Stiller told me he's
surprised.
filming a
Clearly,
movie.
I'm surprised, but
Ben Stiller said he's filming this movie, and he's like, I want to be in it.
yeah.
And he's like, okay. He's
It
like,
almost-
I'm going to have big, giant arms. And I'm
Yeah.
going to dance. And Ben Stiller was like, okay.
Well, that's just it. It wouldn't have worked if he looked like himself.
Right.
Or if he was thinner and stuff. He just
Right.
had the right build. And I
Yeah.
think that fakeness on him allowed him that freedom to, like,
Act it out.
act it out. Right.
Yep.
And
And
he
it was
did
hilarious.
It was so funny and so unexpected.
Matthey McConaughey did bang up part for him.
He did a
was
great part.
He was Tug
Trying to get that
Speedman's-
TiVo the entire movie for it's in his contract. He's supposed to have a TiVo there. We're gonna get him the TiVo.
Yeah, he's he played Ben Stiller, also known Ben Stiller plays Tug
Speedman.
Tug Speedman.
Yeah, Speedman.
And Matthew McConaughey was his agent, and whoa,
Don't worry about
jeez.
that.
So Ben Stiller's part as Tug Speedman, he's an actor that was very popular, an action star that was popular, 20 years before, like maybe 15 years before, and he's definitely dropped. Like, he keeps making the same movie over and over and over, and his star has definitely fallen. And he's then he tried, he tried to make a Forrest Gump type movie called Simple Jack, and that was probably the hardest I laughed.
That character was so over the top, but funny.
And again, so the whole joke to it was, and that's another thing that a bunch of a-holes just tried to get on. They're like, oh, you can't.
Yeah.
He plays a mentally handicapped person,
Right.
And the whole joke of it was, you shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Right.
there's certain characters, like obviously there's Forrest Gump and stuff, but then certain actors try to take it to another level, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And they make fun of him for doing that. And that's the whole point. He plays an obviously extremely mentally handicapped person.
Yeah.
And
Exaggerated to the
and
extreme.
but overly exaggerated to, like, just like you said, the extreme. And even in the movie, he gets called out on it. Everyone's bashing him for it because he thought he is going to get an Oscar.
Even a nomination would be great.
even to be nominated would be fine. But yeah, he got crapped on all over the movie for that. So that's the joke of it, that people just, man, I'm telling you.
And worshipped at the same time.
And worshipped, yeah. It turns out it saved his life playing this movie.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
Dave Short to take us some real hits.
So Simple Jack was probably one of the funniest skits. So it showed everyone in the movie because they're all big time movie stars, and the movie starts off with fake. Help me out here.
Trailers, movie
fake,
trailers,
fake movie trailers for every one of their characters.
Yeah,
and they go down the
Stuff
line.
they've been in before,
right? What one was your favorite? Did you have a favorite one?
I guess the one that stood out to me was the
fatties.
The fatties.
Oh, really?
Fatties fart too.
Yeah, I mean it was just
Jack
so
Black's character.
ridiculous, so over the top.
This summer, America's favorite obese family is back.
Ew, gross! You're just mad because I'm skinny. I'm not.
The Fatties, Part 2.
In some countries, it's considered a compliment.
It was obviously a play on
Nutty Professor.
Yeah, the Nutty Professor.
Eddie Murphy. Yep.
And which I never saw because I thought it looked just ridiculous.
I saw the first one,
but
I saw I saw both.
Well, Nutty Professor. Then what? Didn't he have another one?
Not
though?
the Nutty
Oh, he plays
Professor.
Not the whole family.
A bunch
of people.
of
It was
yeah.
the one with the whole
The
family.
Clumps?
Yeah, not Nutty
No.
Professor. That was
Isn't
where
the
he
Clumps?
started that whole thing.
He's been,
that what
but
it's
even
called?
in
The Clumps?
yeah,
Clumps.
the Clumps, and then even in
That's where he played like
Yeah.
all
even in
the
Coming to
characters and
America, he
stuff.
played like 4 characters in that.
Yeah,
Eddie
he's
Murphy's
been,
always
he
done
did.
that.
Yeah, he's been doing that a long time.
Yeah,
But I feel like there was a big play.
there was,
That was it,
there
the
was one
Clumps.
where he's like fat.
He
like,
played a
yeah.
whole family of like a bunch. Several of them were fat.
Yeah.
And like it was totally
Yeah,
a
I think
play on
that's what
that.
it was.
Yeah, but
But
so
That was
yeah.
my favorite.
That was your
What was
the
yours?
fatties. My favorite was Simple Jack.
Okay,
I thought Simple Jack was.
what was
it was awesome. But
I liked the Ben Stiller one from his popular movie, the one that made him famous.
Remember what it was? The name of it? I'll give you a hint. There's
burning.
6 of them.
Scorcher.
Scorcher, yeah.
The world called on the one man who could make a difference. When it happened again, the world called on him once more. And no one saw it coming 3 more times.
I thought that was funny.
it was funny.
This time he's
The
back
last one was
again.
the funniest.
Something's different.
Because then it's cold all of a sudden.
Only this time, it's different.
Who left the fridge open?
Tug Speedman, Scorcher.
Who left the fridge open?
Yeah.
Again.
Oh,
So
man.
good.
Yeah, and obviously it's a play on every watered down action movie. How
Yeah.
like Rambo kept going and going and going and going
Yeah.
Yeah.
and all that. So again, it's just every actor it was just
No,
hilarious.
Jack
Hilarious.
Black's character, though, obviously he's on drugs the whole movie.
Yeah,
And I like Jack Black, but he's kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's really funny.
sometimes he's too over the top.
Yeah, sometimes he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he's just too over the top. And this is one of those movies where he had some funny parts, but overall, I think he was just too much.
I agree. I didn't like it. I really like his
I
character.
didn't either.
I kind of played like an a-hole. Like that was his character was the guy that no one liked. Like he's supposed to be this comedian. He's like the popular comedian that's supposed to be in it, and he's a bad person. He's on drugs and he's just a
Yeah.
jerk. And yeah, so I mean, he played that well. He did have a couple
He did
funny
do
lines
that.
though.
No, yeah, but what was supposed to be funny, I feel like to the audience, a lot of it just wasn't that fun.
Just
It was-
didn't hit for you. That's fair.
I agree. I didn't really.
Yeah.
I thought he played his role pretty well, but I can see what you're saying. A lot of his jokes just weren't. It just didn't hit quite right. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, what did you think of? I can't remember his name. The guy played Al Pacino.
Oh, Brandon
Oh
Jackson.
yeah. He was good. I really
Yeah.
liked his character. Actually, the whole movie.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
I liked him for the most. I'd say 99%, 95% of it maybe. I liked him. I mean, he did a couple dumb things, but overall, I thought that was a funny character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone in the movie just did awesome.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of the movie, actually, I'm not going to ruin these parts, but my favorite part of the movie was the very beginning when everything's just blowing up and it's all crazy. It's like a real action movie.
Yeah.
But you can tell there's something goofy. Something's off with
yeah.
it, And just like when Tug Speedman gets shot like probably 60 or 70 times. He's like running through the woods trying to get to the helicopter.
Yeah.
He's like,
shaking his arms.
Survive!
Yeah.
While he's getting shot
he
forever.
falls down because he's been shot 10 times.
Falls
he
in a
gets
big
back.
hole, crawls out of the hole, keeps running.
Yeah.
So it's so over the top.
The guy,
Sandusky?
Sandusky, yeah. He's like, his guts are. The guy
Yeah.
stabbed him and then just kept on.
stabbing him, stabbing him.
I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
What am I looking at? What is this?
Dropping stuff. He's like, oh.
Oh, man.
It's still alive though. He's
So
in the-
ridiculous.
I thought like while I was watching they put him in the helicopter. I thought in the movie that they're filming, is he supposed to be surviving? Like, is he actually gonna get repaired?
I know.
Because he's still alive, and they're actually like trying to bandage him back up or something.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, there's so many over the top things. Like when he gets his hands blown off. And,
Hold my hands, cause I got something to say. I got something to say.
and he
Yeah,
stumps
picks
her
up
there.
those
And he's
things.
trying to cry. He's getting outdone by Kurt Lazarus.
Yeah.
And he's like, so they have this whole thing goes off and like,
Hold my hands.
Kurt Lazarus is just doing his bit, you know,
Yeah.
like crying. He's like, you know, like his buddy just got blown up, and Ben Stiller's character is trying to be on the same level. Like he's just trying, and like the other guy's just out acting.
Oh, but he's
laps
he's
around
at the
him.
top of his
Right.
career there,
Right.
And he's at the bottom of
And,
his.
and he's like sitting drooling and crying, and Ben Stiller's like just trying to
Yeah.
cry. And it's like, cut. Can we just cut? You know.
You're my brother. You're my.
Sorry, can we cut?
And what do you think about Danny McBride's character? in
Oh,
this?
he's hilarious. Yeah. Again, he's a character that's very hit or miss for me.
Me too.
But I thought in this movie he did excellent. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought he would. What do you think?
I've never been a big fan of him.
Yeah, and I understand that. Anybody who's not a fan of him, I understand it because he's
I
got
don't
kind of
understand
a.
that.
I don't
How can
know.
you-
What has he been in that's been really
Well,
good?
He's been.
Maybe I haven't
so
seen
I
it.
guess that's kind of it. He's been in a lot of things, but he plays a very, very similar character. In
Yeah, in all
almost
of his movies,
everything.
yeah.
The same attitude, the same
Yeah.
character, really. And at first, I kind of went on a roller coaster with it. Thought he was kind of weird at first. Then I kind of got really into him
Mhm.
with like vice principals and stuff. And then kept watching him, and I thought I was getting bored of him, of his same character.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, it's the same thing again.
Because he was also in that The League or something.
Yeah,
right?
I was trying to think of the name of that. This was called that series, like
I
a
think
Netflix series or
so.
something.
I think it's The League or something like
I
that.
tried to watch
Yeah.
that. I just could not get into it.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes, and again, same thing. It's just
Yeah.
the character, like you said, it's the same guy over and over. He doesn't have a lot of depth, but for the character he plays, it's pretty
Eastbound
funny
and
sometimes.
Down.
Eastbound and Down. That's what it is.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The
Yeah,
League's
I
a
watched
different
all
one.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, besides, I mean, little nitpicks here and there. I thought everyone just was outstanding. All the it's just hilarious. We were talking about this earlier when the movie started.
Mm-hmm.
They probably had so much fun filming that movie.
Yeah.
Like it had
totally.
to be such a good
I'm
time.
sure. Yeah.
I wonder do you know where it was filmed at? Like
No, I don't,
filming
actually.
location.
I didn't look
'Cause,
at
I mean,
that.
I don't know what type of jungle they were really actually in,
Mhm.
and what is movie sets and stuff, or effects, but it looked like a lot of fun. I mean, you're brought out to this place, you're gonna be filming. I mean, for a movie within a movie,
Mhm.
like it was fun either way.
Right.
The fact that you're suited up, you're filming this comedy out in the middle of the jungle, and things are blowing up all over the place, and you're just having a good time. I'm sure every one of those actors had a great time.
Like I said,
filming this.
especially at that time. I mean, Jack Black, that was his pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, also the top of his game.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. was already famous, and there's
those types of movies. I mean, where you're in a military setting, out in a jungle, things blowing up all over the place, you're shooting guns. typically that's a very serious movie.
Oh yeah.
Typically, you're not.
And that's
having
what they're supposed to be filming.
But for them, it's the complete opposite. They're filming a comedy, so it probably was a lot of fun, which is
I'm
kind of an
sure.
out of the norm for that type of a setting. But
Especially that many big actors.
right.
oh yeah, I bet they had a great time.
It was filmed in Hawaii.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think I remember something about some big storm. Like, I remember, I love this movie. Like I said, I have the Blu-ray. I've seen it many times. And I think I remember they had to do a lot of, it ended up costing a lot of money because they had a big tropical storm that went through when the movie was being filmed or something like that. If this is the one I'm thinking about.
A whole Tropic Thunder, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe you're getting the name mixed up with the reality.
I could be. I could be.
I know it's easy to do because there's a lot of mixing with reality and fiction.
I've been. This is a weird thing. That's a funny thing. They bring it up. I got a MetaQuest 3, and man, I've played VR for years, but this one has like pass through, so you can like put it on and still see what you're doing and stuff, and see windows. You should try it out. It's a good time. But anyways, there's times I take it off, and I still feel like I'm in the game. Like even like picking things
It's
up
a little
is
scary.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I can see how that can
It is
happen.
it's a mind job. Like I like take it off and I'm like I'm out of the game now. And like the movement you make to grab the it's something, it's just like
I could see that.
weird.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
It's like being in the Matrix. And then you realize that this entire world is just a video game.
I didn't know that.
Now with all those people, those Apple, Pro, whatever.
Oh yeah,
things.
the Apple Vision Pros.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting used to wearing those for a long.
You see that guy
period of
doing driving his Tesla with that? His Cybertruck?
Yeah, and then I didn't.
So dumb.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He got out of it and whatever, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean,
I saw when someone get out
Like
of
a
one.
fake
He's like still
thing.
doing.
no, he's
stuff
driving on the
his-
highway.
I saw. I think.
I saw the same thing you did.
Okay. Oh
It
yeah.
was like a joke.
Yeah, it was like
They're, like, making
it was
fun
just
of him.
over the top. Yeah, they're just making fun of it.
So IMDb and Metacritic gave it a 7.1. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 82%.
Nice.
That's really high. It's very
crazy.
very high.
I would.
That's actually shocking for a comedy.
I know.
But you know what? I wonder if it has to do with all of the star-studded
Could be.
cast and
Well, I mean, let's break
each
it
of their
down.
roles. I mean, you could really.
There was nothing bad about the movie. There's nothing you could say in that movie, as far as I'm concerned, that was bad. I mean, what could you say was bad about it? There's some actors you might not have liked very
Okay.
well, but they still played their part well, right?
Here's my.
Yeah, let's hear
okay,
it.
let's
hear it.
Let's talk about
Go ahead and crap on one of my favorite movies. Go
pros
ahead,
and
bud.
cons. I'm going to talk about pros and cons here.
Let's hear it.
So, what I liked about the movie, I think we've pretty much covered most of that.
Sure. It was funny.
It's funny. It's you got a lot of characters that actors that playing very interesting characters in this movie.
Right.
And that's fun to see too. However, there's also some characters that you do know, Downey Jr, Jack Black, people like that are playing roles, and yeah, it's not the best you've seen them in. You've seen them do characters in other movies that are far better.
Mm-hmm.
And then overall, like the whole storyline and all the scenes. I mean, okay, well, let's just get down to the nitty gritty.
All right. I thought you were going somewhere with that. I was giving you some rope there. Let you keep going.
Sugarcoat it, but I'm just done sugarcoating it. Well, so the negatives. So we talked about the positive. The negatives that I really got to say, one thing that always bothered me was that Simple Jack character. When the first time I saw that, I just thought, I know that they're trying to be dumb. I get it. I do. But it's just, first time I saw it, I just didn't find it even funny. Even though it's supposed to be funny, like a joke.
It's supposed to be funny that it's not funny.
I just thought it was so dumb that it just wasn't fun. Now, seeing it more, I've seen it a couple times since then. And I will say that the more times I see it, the funnier that part of it gets.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
But that, I don't know. That and just several other parts of it. And again, the movie as a whole. Another part that I don't like is I hate when there's a child leading the bad guys.
Okay, no, I'll tell you why that happened, actually. There's a reason.
That annoys me. I don't find that funny. I think that's stupid.
But there's a reason.
But there's a reason
Listen
why they
to
did
Josh.
it.
Well, I know that. Well, you didn't talk about the tie to Simple Jack.
No, nothing to do with that.
Okay, go ahead.
That whole Flaming Dragon crew that a guerrilla army is based on a real guerrilla army in Miramar called God's Army, and it was led by two twin 9-year-old brothers. So this was based
on reality. You can't even hate that.
Reality.
You can't even hate that.
Okay.
And the real God's Army was their inspiration, like what they kind of really looked up to was American superheroes.
Boy, they're lucky. They just
wow.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is funny. It's insanely funny, insane and funny because it's ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous.
I mean, why would that ever even be a thing?
Who would follow a child?
You're talking about the same.
9 years old too, not like a 13-year-old that could be like passed for a teenager.
Well,
there's a lot of religions that kind of go
this,
that way.
though.
Not a lot, but there's definitely some like they'll
Yeah.
worship like the God child or whatever. You know,
They're a part.
I don't know.
I mean, there are people who, let their kids tell them
It's true.
oh yeah,
a lot of things
That's
these
true.
days. I'm just saying, a kid could be a tiny little kid still writing on the walls and doing, can't do math
Not
and
only
can't do
that,
stuff, and people take advice from them.
there's
and stuff,
certain-
and let them boss them around.
That's true.
there's certain
So,
customs where
like
I don't know if you've seen videos of this, but I'm not going to try to throw dirt on no one at all here, but
Yeah.
there are definitely certain customs in certain parts of the world where if the male child is right underneath the dad, so it's like the father, and then it's the kid, and like the daughters and the mother, they have no part. In, in that family. Like they're
that's,
servants
again,
pretty much.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of where it would stem from. It's like.
Right.
Like, the kid's the boss.
Yeah, they take over. Yeah,
So it's
That's
weird,
true.
but
we've seen that. Yeah, in
I didn't really
movies
look up
and
any
history, or
any
whatever.
history of that or
Right.
Sure. And so
who knows what it is.
that might be our next episode. That we'll have to look at the God's hand or whatever it was.
God's Army.
God's
so
Army.
given what you said, that does excuse a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's not the
So
first.
that's like a joke you didn't know about.
It's not the first
Yeah.
movie that I've seen a child.
I know what you're
that's
talking
leading
about.
the bad guys,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
It's dumb.
this is dumb.
I'll
man.
agree with
if I
that.
want to watch a little kid, leading
Boss
a
around
bunch of-
guy,
and then
men and stuff.
they're like like bossing around the adults. It's just like
It's
come
supposed
on,
to be
this
funny.
Is stupid, man.
I know.
So
I agree with you.
unrealistic, but
So-
in that case, it is realistic because it's real.
Yeah. Let's get some
like
ratings
that.
going
Let's
here,
cut to the
guys.
chase. We'll get some ratings.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's way up there for me because I'll tell you what, we already went through what we like, what we don't like. All the actors, blah blah blah. The set, everything's hilarious. It's a movie about a movie.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the concept was hilarious to me. But the reason I love it so much is I remember seeing this in theaters, and this is I think the last movie. It's 2008. Where I cried laughing in the theater so much.
Wow.
Probably for 15 minutes. There's a part in the movie where he gets in a knife fight at night with Tug Speedman accidentally kills something. And I cried in theaters. My throat hurt, my chest hurt. And then the part where
That's amazing to me, honestly.
I cried laughing.
Because I know a lot of the movies that you and I both love, and this is one we disagree on.
Huh.
And it's just amazing to me that you hold it to such a high level.
I thought it was hilarious. And the Simple Jack part, because I got the whole thing that he was doing with it.
Yeah.
I got everything, like I understood it. And the part where they hold him on such high regard, the army.
Yeah.
He gets kidnapped.
Right.
And they make him reenact all his parts. The lines he says are so stupid.
Oh, they're
and
just
so funny.
Yeah.
That, and especially like his costume and everything. Oh my God. I died laughing on that part too. And I was just, I was over for that.
Yeah.
That being said, I get why it's funny to me, and it's not going to be as funny to some people. Some people that take crap too seriously. I'm not saying it's you guys. I'm not saying it's you guys. I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying other people that take stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
I get
him
that.
playing a black character, him playing mentally handicapped character.
Yeah,
I
things
get
that
why
people
some
could
people can't let that go, and
Right.
it's all about their identity. They got to, that's not funny. I get what they're doing with it. I think they did it extremely tastefully, and they made a joke out of it. So I just got the concept of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. It made me cry laughing the first time I watched it. Every time I watch it, I laugh, just like you guys with your Men at Work and everything, which I agree with. But
Yeah.
That being said, one of my favorite movies of all time, I got to rate it a 9.0.
9.0?
Yeah, a 9.0.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, UHF 9.8, 9.9, something like that.
Yeah.
This, I don't know any other movie that I'd rate higher than a 9.
For some reason, I thought you would be up closer to 9.8.
Yeah, it's up there. It's like 9.5, 9. It's somewhere like going around in there. The first time I watched it, I would have gave it a 10. And now I've seen it so many times that, there's certain things maybe that, but I think you're right. I'm going to give it 9.2. That's final answer.
It's no Cocaine Bear.
Oh, yeah, no Cocaine Bear, that's for sure. No, I'm going to go with a 9.2. You're right. It's better than a 9. I'm going to give it a 9.2, and that's going to be my final answer on that.
Okay.
Caleb, let me know what you think.
Okay. So, I'm not going through what I already said again.
Don't do it.
I like pros. There's some cons there.
I think that's the child actor's last name.
Con?
Well, yeah, wasn't he something?
I wouldn't doubt it. That's a common name of that style.
What?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Not trying to go there. Just like the movie, but
cut that.
No, there are a lot of things in the movie that I could see people critiquing that I don't. Like we talked about. I mean, there's things that people could come down on, which I don't actually. I found a lot of it funny, and I think it was done really well. I think that Robert Downey Jr. played a great character, and so many of the other actors did great too. And some of it wasn't as funny to me, and I've already gone over that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my rating out there of a 6.3.
Oh, no way! Wow.
It is 6.3. A solid.
That is
solid.
That's not even solid. As solid as hot butter.
Wow. I thought you'd give it a higher rating.
So
too.
did I.
Just the way you talk about it. You think it was pretty funny. I was like,
No, I do think it's funny. That's why I got it into the 6s. But
so you think The Jerk is a better movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You think Men at Work is the better movie?
For example, I could watch The Jerk over, and I have over and over and over again.
Right.
Tropic Thunder. It's a good movie I could watch every once in a long while. Like,
what about? Is it better than Men at Work?
No.
You think Men at Work is better than Tropic Thunder?
No doubt about it.
Whoa. There's fumes in here, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to ventilate this room.
Well, don't light any matches until after I'm out of here.
All right, let's hear it.
So, what do you got?
Oh, and I like the part. I want to. I do that when they were coming over the bridge. That little baby was stabbing Ben Stiller, and he throws him like a doll.
That was my favorite part in the movie. I was just gonna say that.
Oh, really? That was. I mean, there were some really funny parts, which is a given when you get these people in there. Like Ben Stiller is hilarious. I mean, he's in tons of great movies, great comedies. He knows how to make good comedies, and he did that. But wasn't all that great.
And that, to be honest with you, that was the only part that I actually cracked up when I saw it.
Yeah, right.
The rest of it was just kind of like a snicker here and there.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna go with a 5.
Wow.
5.0?
Yeah.
I got to join a different podcast.
And I went back and forth on that a little bit, but I don't know. Just for that reason, I wouldn't want to see it again.
Let me tell you something.
I did not like it. I didn't want to see it to begin with, and I put it off I just watched it for the first time today. And the first main reason was because Robert Downey Jr.'s character didn't look funny to me at all. Any of the previews I saw didn't look funny.
Yeah.
And everybody was going on about Tom Cruise's character, and I saw little clips of it. I was like, hey, it
maybe
could be funny.
It's just been spoiled for you then.
See, maybe you heard too much, and then it caused you to
He's seen too much.
It's possible.
Preconceived, I don't know.
But even after watching it, I didn't like Robert Downey Jr.'s character. I didn't think Tom Cruise was very funny.
I thought Robert Downey Jr. was a great... He played that really well, and I think he did a great job. But overall, as far as being funny and stuff... Mm-hmm. I don't think he was that funny.
No.
I don't think he was nearly as funny as other people think he was.
No.
But I do think he played that role really well.
And I agree with you about Jack Black's character. I love Jack Black.
Yeah.
I like him in almost every movie I've seen him in, except this one. I didn't like him in this one.
Yeah.
And also, Ben Stiller, I usually think he's hilarious. And there's so many movies that he's really funny in. And this one I was just like, I don't know. He just didn't hit the scenes that I thought he would. There was some funny parts.
Yeah, that was a guarantee.
I feel like
have some funny parts.
I don't know. I don't know what movie you guys watched, but it must have been you guys much. I don't know.
I was surprised that I rated it that low.
I was at a 5.8 until that baby went flying, and then I thought 6.2. It just went up a little bit.
That kept it up for me for sure. That was hilarious.
Like, clearly, it wasn't a
and then the
slapstick
stabbing,
movie.
the little.
That's what I mean. Like the whole scene.
What about the part where he's getting gutted?
Like fake, just like jamming him in the
What, in the
back.
beginning, when this guy's getting gutted and
That
his
was
I mean, that was
stirred
funny.
out.
And
It
that's
was funny.
Yeah, there were some funny parts, no question.
But it was
about
like just that one beginning scene was hilarious. And then just like a couple little parts after that were just like pretty funny. And I was expecting to laugh a lot more. And I don't know.
I think I'm gonna change my score too. You guys,
here we go.
You sold me
he's
on
going
it.
down.
Yeah, you sold me. I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's
trying
definitely
to
a
go-
9.4.
He's gonna go up.
It's a
I
9.4.
knew he was gonna do that.
Oh man.
Well, this is the first episode where we've
Yeah.
had two guys that were wrong
It's
and
true.
one guy that's just clearly right.
This is the first episode ever, though, that
That's-
we've had this
that
much
drastic.
of a
That's
variation.
true.
And we've had other episodes where other people were.
We've had like one
Yeah.
person
You
off,
know.
like a little bit, but
Yeah,
not
but
like
this is
nothing
drastic.
major.
This is drastic.
Yeah.
And it almost disappoints because I like this movie
I'm
so
sure.
much.
I knew
it
you'd be
disappoints me
disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
that you guys didn't think is all that funny.
Well, I knew going into it because I've seen it before a few times. I knew I wouldn't. I didn't like the movie as much as you did. I
Right.
knew that going into it by how you talk about it and how I feel about it. And so I thought, I'm gonna watch it again. You know, which we just did all together.
I think just Tom Cruise was just way over the top. Like he's just like.
And you're asking if I'm serious? See, this is the good part, Pecker. It's when job gets fun. Yeah. Ask, and you shall receive. Right. You play ball, we play ball.
Oh, I thought it was perfect.
Took a funny character and just like way over the top. I was just like got to the point where I was sick of the.
I would say
this.
In terms of like how much I liked his character playing that role and how funny he was. If he got to 100%, like he got there and then he went 110. He went too far, just a little bit too far with it.
Yeah.
If he'd have dialed it back a little bit, it would have been perfect. But he did go a little bit too far. But overall, I liked his character because he was.
I think you guys are tanking this on purpose.
Yeah.
I think that someone offered you guys a G5 if you tank this. So
I would take it.
But anyways, I guess that's it. That's the biggest. This has been a very surprising, not so surprising. This is a very controversial episode.
Yeah, it is.
And it has nothing to do with the actors in the movie. It has to do with
No.
the rating system here.
Yeah.
And,
Rating system.
I mean, we're just gonna have to take this back and rethink our inks. I think
Maybe.
because there's.
And I've only seen it once too.
Let me just say my inks have dried.
Oh.
I don't doubt that. It's not the only thing that's dry.
This
Maybe
guy's
your
got
sense of humor.
This guy's got the disappearing ink. He changes his rating every time. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's because you guys marked it so low. I had to knock it up. Because you're.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first thing you've knocked up.
That's.
Well, yeah, it is.
God, I sure hope not. Jeez.
We don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe that kid over there.
Yeah.
The dragon. What's the name of the bad guys? The something dragon.
Yeah. One thing I forgot it.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
I don't know. Anyway, Golden Dragon or something.
Well, golden shower, golden dragon, whatever.
That was like that one guy with that drink sponsor or whatever. He said, I didn't pee on her. He's like, I was peeing and she walked by.
The Flaming Dragon.
Flaming, that's right. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's gonna do it for us. The very controversial. What do you guys think?
He's all
Are you
upset.
on? Are you
can
on
tell
team?
Danny's all upset over there.
Are you on team Tropic Thunder here, or are you on team Soggy
Yeah, that's
Crotch
it.
over there? And
Leave a
Sad
comment
Pants?
below. Like, I mean,
I want to know.
you know,
Yeah.
and why? You know, what's
Yeah,
your
tell us-
rate? What would your rating be out of 10 and why?
Right. And we just blasted through 100 subscribers now, so we're up there now. We're in the big time. I know we got a 0 on the back.
I
If
think
you
it's
guys-
the first time that we've rated it lower than
I
Rotten
know.
Tomato.
Well, it just shows how
when it-
wrong you are.
When it comes to a comedy, yeah.
Maybe
Right.
if I saw it again,
Other
I think it was
movies-
funnier.
Right.
Yeah.
A 5 is
Yeah.
a slap. You literally just slapped me in the face. So.
I know.
I didn't even have anything to do with the movie.
I had a feeling.
That's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, typically we love comedies, so we always rate it higher than IMDb.
You sure about that?
We feel like IMDb doesn't have a very,
You sure
the,
about that?
the Metacritics
Right.
don't have a good. But like I said, I guarantee you, for them to rate a comedy very high, which they don't typically do,
Yeah.
Right.
I guarantee it's only because they have
No.
the cast was
No.
star-studded,
No.
and they were like.
I would agree with you
Which
sometimes.
means there's a lot of money behind it, and
I
a lot
would
of
agree.
times that sways these.
That movie
these
didn't even
critics.
make that much
Could
money.
be.
That movie
Oh.
didn't even make that much money. It didn't even cost that
When
much
you have
money.
that many big people in a movie,
Yeah.
Most of those people did it for
all of a
free.
sudden, some money gets pumped into the critics, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know." Oh.
Like Tom Cruise offered to be in the movie for free. He just came up with the part.
I'm just playing
This
around,
guy,
man.
this guy is on drugs, guys. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. They're wrong, I'm right. No big deal. We are going to end it here. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. If you like what you heard from me, like and
Oh,
subscribe.
don't do that because then we won't get any subscriptions.
Well, I would say you could like what they said, but then you wouldn't be liking anything because they didn't even like the movie.
Yeah.
But maybe
Let
there are
us
other
know
movies.
what your rating is in the comments. What do you think of the movie?
Right.
Out
Let
of-
us know.
out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not out of 5. That's an old system. Archaic. No one does that anymore. But that's all for us for tonight.
Yeah.
And next week we'll do. We already even decided. This is the first time ever we decided what movie we're doing next week. It's going to be. We're steering away from comedies for once and going to Big Trouble in Little China.
Steering away from comedy.
This guy needs a.
We've had a lot of comedies in a row here.
This is a comedy.
Are you calling
Big Trouble in Little China is a comedy?
No, it's like a comedy action.
I'd say it's a comedy.
It was
I said-
John Carpenter didn't make comedies.
Well, this one's a comedy.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be.
I don't know.
I'd say it's almost 50-50.
Well, we'll figure that out when we watch it again next week.
Something to talk about next week.
Another more controversial things.
Oh gosh.
But that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.